We live? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another week of 2-point conversion. I'm John Thompson alongside my co-host.
Nico Torres. What's up, guys?
And we're so excited to be back in the studio this week. Had a crazy busy weekend, but I love joining you guys on Monday. I love when everyone tunes in, drops a comment. And it's just like a nice hour to chat football, hear what you guys have to say. And obviously, it's always a great show when we're coming off a Giants win, right, Nico?
I mean, coming off years prior, 2 wins a season.
It's tough.
This is our 5th victory Monday of the year.
Already matched our win total.
I mean,
from last season.
I think it was something like last season, the season before that, where we already have more wins than like 3 seasons prior.
It's awesome.
5-1. 5-1, second in the division now that the Cowboys lost to the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles keep rolling, which is tough. Something to keep an eye on. But it's awesome for the Giants. I feel like too, the first couple wins, it was a weird feeling for us, something we weren't used to. And I was kind of, I have to admit, be totally honest, I was kind of like a little pessimistic about it. I was are we winning these games just to stink later on and lose out on a draft pick? But you see the culture of this team, the emotion they play with. I think they're building something real, Nico.
It's the culture.
They're building something real.
Brian Dable, Joe Shane, it's the culture that they brought. And, we're winning at this point, as more wins come along, it's going to be something where like we're going to have to get used to it if it continues. If we keep, piling on wins, we have a nice couple, like I think Jaguars, we play the Colts, we play Seahawks.
We'll get into it. Yeah, we'll get into it. Before we get into our favorite games of the week, I just want to say this was a phenomenal weekend for sports. There was not a dull moment since Friday through the whole weekend. You had an insane college football Saturday. I know we don't do much college football talk on this show.
Tennessee.
But, oh, my goodness, shout out Tennessee. The fans ripped the goalposts out of the ground.
Did you see the whole,
the fireworks, everything? It just felt bigger than sports. It was
the whole story with the goalpost, that they took it down, they ran it across, they brought it across the street, and they dumped it in the river. They took a boat and they just dumped it in the river.
So that was electric. There was another great game, college football. Shout out to my friends at Syracuse. Syracuse football is undefeated. They had a big win over NC State. And then a great game Saturday night, USC at Utah. Utah pulled out the win, gave USC their first loss this season. College football, we don't get into it too much, but
maybe in
NFL,
the future.
Great day of NFL football yesterday. I was busy most of the day down in Philly, but the games that I did get to see were spectacular, close games, a lot of action. Great weekend for sports. The Yankees got a big win last night.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
The only game I didn't catch was actually the last one, partial parts of the last one,
Dallas Philly,
which was Dallas Philly. I didn't really watch a bunch of it, but just because Yankees were on, I was just trying to see what was going on there. But I was flipping back and forth, so I did see some of it.
Awesome. So that's just a quick weekend recap. I felt like I had to start off with that because this weekend was super exciting for sports. I wish we had more than an hour to talk about it, but that's our time slot. So we'll get right into it, Nico. Why don't you start us off with your favorite game of the week? We'll break it down into some detail.
Take a breath. All right. Let's go. Giants, Ravens in the Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium. Daniel Jones, is he the QB of the future? 19 for 27, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 turnover, which was kind of garbage time at the end of the second half. We got Saquon Barkley, 22 carries, 83 yards, 1 touchdown, and another contribution from first of the year, Wan'Dale Robinson, kind of back from injury, and he finally got his touchdown that we've been waiting for.
That was awesome. He looked sharp. Looked really quick, kind of like the guy that we expected he would be when we drafted him. That way that the NFL shifting towards maybe those smaller, faster wide receivers.
Something that I didn't realize is that his size. I didn't realize he was that small because seeing him next to some other players, obviously players are pretty big, but he's a lot smaller than most players that I've seen, and which was kind of confusing to me. But he is very fast. He has a way of getting open.
He's 5'8".
5'8".
He's 5'8". That's my height.
Yeah, I mean
5'8", 185. So he's a little bit. He's built, but real short, kind of shifty guy, hard to bring down, a guy.
Fast.
So he got his first touchdown. He was super excited. He didn't even know where to run after he caught the ball.
Jumping.
He wanted to greet the fans, and he was like, "Let me celebrate with my teammates." Yeah. So that was awesome to see him get his first touchdown of the season.
It's good.
We missed him.
It's good to see him. It's good to see something from the rookie, and it's good to see something from our wide receiver core because kind of Everyone else was kind of like, again, dull. Like that core is kind of dull. The tight ends continue to like work on. Running backs continue. Quarterback continues. But this is the first like big moment out of the wide receiver core, which was huge.
Awesome.
And I think he had his first receiving touchdown, and we also got a touchdown from Bellinger. So it was and
2 rookies. Yeah, that's awesome.
2 rookies, 2 big moments in the game. And let me get to some Ravens stats. We got Lamar Jackson, 17 for 32, 210 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1, and I mean huge interception by Julian Love, the first turnover by the Giants defense all season. How do you feel about that?
It's been due, long overdue, for that interception.
Absolutely.
But that was a great play by Julian Love. He read the pass, read it like a book, jumped the route, clean interception. That was awesome. Trying to see something from our secondary. I didn't catch most of the game. Like I said, I was busy most of the day. Was Adoree Jackson active or he?
Adoree Jackson, I don't know if he was active. I want to say he wasn't still, because I did see a lot of mixed match. I did see a lot.
That's
of
big from Julian Love stepping up, getting that pick.
That, I mean, it was, if I could set the mood, it was kind of like it was a 3rd down, I believe, and Giants were really pressuring hard. There's a lot of pressure to the quarterback. Leonard Williams is back, which is a huge add, but he didn't really add to the run game too much, the defensive run game.
Yeah, I'm looking at these Kenyon Drake numbers, and he really ate against us. Something that that's been like the Giants' defense's strongest point has been the run stopping.
Even without Leonard Williams, who probably is our best run stopper, but Kenyon Drake, 10 carries for 119 yards.
That's crazy.
Watching the game, him and Mark Andrews, who Mark Andrews had 106 yards and a touchdown, they were really, the points where like the Giants defense couldn't pick it up. They couldn't fix anything. They couldn't build together. And like, 2-man, I think in the second half, which obviously the Giants are a second half team, they picked up on double coverage on him.
Okay.
But everything else, we kind of just got like they kind of ran the ball through us.
In the defense of the Giants run defense. Sorry, watching the highlights of the game, that Baltimore run scheme is so hard to stop. You get there, you get to the backfield, think you have a tackle for loss, Lamar fakes it.
Yeah, they always have that option play.
It's so hard to defend. There were a couple plays watching the highlights where Kayvon was there, had someone wrapped up, and then Lamar just squeaks through 15-yard gain, and you're like,
yeah,
how do you even stop
I know the
this
one
guy?
play you're talking about. It was Kayvon was there, and he had 2 of them in front of him. It was Kenyon and Lamar, and he picked Kenyon.
You have to commit to one, or else you risk losing both of them.
At that point, he committed to Kenyon, and that's when Lamar pulled it back, took the option, ran it for 15 yards, and he's just as elusive as Kenyon.
I think the Baltimore run scheme, second best in the league, only behind the 49ers.
The 49ers are a really strict base run, like normal run. I guess you have Juszczyk, and you have, it's a normal.
Well, they'll
run.
let Debo run it. They'll have 3 running backs that are very capable.
Sweeps.
And then I know Trent Williams has been hurt, but what they do with that all-pro left tackle, put him in motion.
I mean,
him and Juszczyk, a 270-pound like fullback. They are so hard.
I think that's more traditional. There's nothing like the Ravens. Seeing that game, there's nothing
so unique. Yeah,
it's so unique the way they use it, the way they like scheme and option and read. Giants picked it up in the second half. Obviously, definitely covering the Andrews, and they pull away with the win.
I think again, the Giants defense didn't allow any fourth quarter points. I think that last score came for
there was one. It was a I don't know if it was a touchdown or a field goal, but there was one at the beginning of the second, the beginning of the third.
Yeah, and then after that, the Giants defense. It's amazing to see. Like I don't know what goes on that sideline, but they bring it together. They bend, but they don't break. And fourth quarter, shut it down and let the offense do their thing.
I think that, having that interception, I was watching the game and I kind of felt that it was coming. Those turnovers were coming. There was so much pressure on Lamar. He kind of scrambled and made a really bad throw. Like it wasn't a great throw at all. And
that's a former MVP that the Giants defense was able to force into making some mistakes.
Yeah.
You didn't get to his last turnover. I know you want to give your guy a shout out. So
I just got the new throwback jersey, Kayvon, and it's just the number 5 looks perfect on the jersey. And watching the game, I'm waiting. I'm like, do something, prove my jersey right, right? And I'm looking up, and it's it's garbage time. It's the fourth quarter. Lamar is ready. If he's locked in, he can win the game here and drive down the field. He starts scrambling. There's pressure on the quarterback. Kayvon comes around the edge, strip sack, fumble. You see the emotion, and he's crying on the sidelines. He's recording videos, crying.
Huge. It was huge for him.
He's celebrating after. He loves being. I genuinely think maybe it's self-centered for being in the media and in the spotlight. He loves being in New York, and he loves being a Giant. And that's what's so exciting to me about it.
That was awesome. He was due for his first sack, and it couldn't have come at a bigger moment. End the game. Giants jump on that fumble, and then they take it down just a little bit down the field, ran the clock. Saquon slid down. I heard a Giants fan last night. I was talking to my friend. He's like, I wanted them to score that one. Punch him in the throat, punch him in the face. And I was like,
it's a bittersweet,
relax.
It's a bittersweet moment. You want to put them down. You want to suffocate them. But one thing that I'm looking for is like, that move, what he did when he stopped at the one. It's so smart.
It's mature, so high IQ play,
team oriented.
Yep.
I
maybe
love
something we wouldn't have seen from Giants teams in the past. And before we move on to our next game, one last thing I want to say, just to put a little bit in perspective, how much this victory means. Last time we played the Ravens, 2020, we were on a 4-game win streak, right? It was the best stretch of games under Joe Judge the Giants had, right? Coming to this game, like, okay, this is against a really solid team. Can we prove something? Lamar scores 4 first-half touchdowns. They destroy us. They blow us out and, like, crushed our hopes right there. This game, I was like, same attitude kind of going in. Like, this one, a really legit team. We beat the Packers. I heard some of the haters saying, well, it was in London. Didn't have the Packers fans there. It wasn't cold like it would have been in Green Bay. I was like, okay, you know what? We'll see how we do this weekend.
Officially, the Giants have beat 2 former first seeds from last year and the past 3 MVPs
That's
of
awesome.
the league.
Let's go.
I mean, it's just what we're bringing. Wink revenge game coming back to beating Baltimore. Huge defensive schemes he was putting up there, and it worked. We got the win. The Giants moved to 5-1, and they take advantage of what's going on in the league right now. This team could be a wild card team. Coming off of the last couple of years, and now in this position, we could very easily become a wild card team if we take advantage of the games that we should win.
Looking ahead for the Giants next week in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I think the Giants are a better team.
That should be a win.
I know Jacksonville is young and hungry and kind of explosive, but looking ahead, we got Jaguars, Seahawks, Texans, Lions. This is going to be a big stretch of 4 games. They can't get comfortable, can't get cocky.
No, you have to still attack. You're not one of these teams that, we're actually a 5, like we're a very strong fort, like 5-1 team, unstoppable force. You have to realize that these teams could beat you. Just like you did with the Ravens and the Packers, those teams could 100% could have beat you. You have to like push forward and be resilient and try to win these games.
The vibe that I'm getting though is that the Giants will take these games seriously. Like, they
are
a very well-coached team, organized, and it goes back to like the little details that you see on the field. Saquon sliding instead of scoring that touchdown, could have got it for his stats, for his numbers. He's in a contract year.
Yeah.
No, the man slid down, sealed up the game. Very mature, high IQ football. The start of a very strong culture. I think we're going to see how well they handle these next 4 games. I'm excited.
I remember seeing that. Talk about the future. Obviously, it's months away, but at the end of the season, they will be the 4th. They're going to have the 4th biggest cap space coming up.
Wow. Good for Joe Shane to turn that around.
Which 4th coming from all the way, having the highest paid receiver room that doesn't deserve it. Obviously, one of the worst receiver rooms in the league. Going to the 4th cap space is going to be huge. And I think it could get exponentially better in the future. Let me read you. What else do I have? I guess I covered. Oh, and for the first time since 2009, the Giants moved to 5-1. That's the best record.
Awesome, dude. It's been so long.
So long. What is it? Whatever.
12
13 years. I mean, in my actual thought process as an adult, this is the first time the Giants are good.
Let's enjoy these wins. Enjoy this victory Monday. It feels good.
I love it.
Although I haven't been able to totally enjoy the Giants victory from this weekend just because I'm so nervous for the Yankees tonight. I'm so nervous. We'll talk about the Yankees later.
You want to talk about it now? Knockout New York?
I'm not ready for it. Yeah,
right,
I was reading my notes for football. Dude, I'm so nervous, dude. I'm so nervous. My favorite game of the week. My favorite game of the week, a 4:00 game. Bills versus the Chiefs in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Bills take the win 24-20. The score 24-20 does not reflect how much offense there was in this game. Let me start you off with it was a rematch of the insane AFC Championship game from last year.
14 seconds on the clock.
Did not disappoint this year. Although it wasn't as high scoring, I thought it was a great game. Two powerhouse teams trading punches, two superstar quarterbacks, superstar receivers. It was awesome. It lived up to the hype. Josh Allen goes 27 of 40 for 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Completions to 8 different receivers. His favorite target on the day was Stephon Diggs. Great chemistry between those two. Stephon Diggs goes for 10 catches, 148 yards, and a touchdown. Gabe Davis, 3 receptions, 74 yards. That's good for 24.7 average. This guy's been going nuclear. Anytime the receiver's over 20, I really take note. That's an impressive day. He had a touchdown as well. And perhaps the difference maker in this game, Devin Singletary, who they drafted a running back this year. Hearing some talk, Singletary's not going to be as involved. They pass the ball too much. Shows up, 17 carries, 85 yards. That's good for 5 yards a carry. Showed up, did his job, did everything he was asked to do. And I think he was the difference maker in this game. On the Chiefs side, Patrick Mahomes, 25 of 40, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 very costly interceptions. One of the interceptions came in the end zone on a 3rd and goal. Juju Smith-Schuster, 5 receptions for 113 yards.
First touchdown as a Chief.
He was over 20 yards a reception. Travis Kelce, his main guy, 8 receptions for 108 yards. McCole Hardman caught a touchdown. But like I said, the difference maker, I think, was the Bills having that run game. Even though it was only 5 yards a carry, nothing notable for the Chiefs rushing. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 9 attempts for 33 yards. When you run the ball like that, Nico, run a little clock off. Give your defense some rest. I think Devin Singletary and obviously Mahomes, 2 interceptions, difference maker in this game.
Yeah, not having, on the Chiefs standpoint, not having a run game going. You have to have that balance where it's run and throw, so they're not always playing cover 3, cover 2 defenses.
Exactly.
And playing back on the
quarterback. Opens up the playbook.
Yeah, 100% opens up the playbook. Obviously, Mahomes has this skill to him where he can make things happen, make plays happen. But if this defense is expecting the throw, expecting the play to happen, there's no point. They're shutting down the run completely. They have no run available. They didn't make it worth it. And throwing the ball, that's why you have 2 mistakes, 2 interceptions, and 2 big ones, one in the end zone. Obviously, it's not the same as that game. This is a different Chiefs team than they are last year.
They missed Tyreek Hill.
This is a huge loss for them. Juju is not the answer.
I know he had 113 yards. By all means, that's a great game for Juju. But
it's the first time he's done this.
If Juju went for 113, imagine what Tyreek would have went for.
Yeah,
I think Tyreek always showed up against the Bills. I mean, he would always break one. He would throw up the peace sign.
Yeah,
kind of disrespectful to the Bills.
And he shows up on the Dolphins even without a starting quarterback.
Skylar Thompson. I have him as one of my favorite fantasy players of the week later on. But
I mean, he's a huge gap that hasn't been filled in this Chiefs offense.
He wanted $30 million.
Along with, Hilaire's a great runner. I mean, they've been using him, but in this game, rushing was the problem, and they couldn't get that rushing going. And obviously, the Bills could. 2 stellar offenses going head to head, and the defenses won. That's
that's a great way to put it.
It's not as, and I think it was Tony Romo announcing the game beforehand. He even said, he goes, I know these are 2 really powerhouse offenses, but defense is going to win today. The score is going to be 24-20. The game ended 24-20.
He knows his football.
I mean, he knows everything.
So yeah, that's my main takeaways from this game. The Mahomes 2 interceptions. As a Chiefs fan, you're probably a little upset with that, but throw the ball 40 times, a little bit under pressure. He's trying to make some things happen that weren't really open for him. I think he missed Tyreek Hill. I think Travis Kelce did as much as he could, 8 for 108. Tough loss for the Chiefs, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see these 2 teams again come playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt both these teams are playoff teams.
Definitely.
Even though their record doesn't show that on the Chiefs.
The Bills are 4-1. Chiefs, I think, are 3-2.
3-2 or whatever
so,
it is.
So, not by any means out of it.
3-3, I thought.
3-3, maybe.
3-3 now.
Let me check.
We're through week 6.
Chiefs are 4-2.
4-2, really? Oh, okay, so, all right, I'm mistaken. Both of them, their records show it. They're both playoff teams, and we both know what they can achieve at that point because they're both great, coached and great.
You think the Chiefs make a run for another wide receiver? Maybe trade deadline type deal? Or
speaking of trade deadline, you want to talk about trades?
Yeah, there's some big storylines we got to get into. Yeah.
we could see them try to go. Obviously, everyone knows that the Panthers are selling, and the first to go who got thrown off the sideline
That was
last
bizarre.
night.
I don't have the full story on that. I know
So what I gathered from it is that Robbie Anderson came onto the sideline after like I guess a 4-and-out or whatever it was, and he started. It wasn't the offense. It wasn't the coach. It wasn't the offensive coordinator. I think it was the offensive coordinator or the quarterback's coach or the wide receiver room.
Somebody, yeah.
He walked up to one of these coaches and was in his face, like helmet to face, like straight to his face, and was saying something. Obviously, you didn't get to hear it, but that coach brought it up to the head coach, and he was kicked off the field.
I haven't seen anybody kicked off the field since Antonio Brown had his antics.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like one of those, like he was walking off the field cursing him out. He was cursing out the coaches as he was walking off the field into the locker room, and whatever happened in that conversation didn't go well for him. And now he's on a different team.
And less than 24 hours later, he's in Arizona now.
He's a Cardinal now.
But I mean, I think it works out for everyone. They got you have in the notes here. They got
They got a
sixth and a seventh.
A 6th-round pick and a 7th-round pick, one in 2024 and one in 2025.
Because the Cardinals wide receiver Hollywood Brown could be out for the season.
Who's their number one receiver at this point? Maybe Zach Ertz is in there somewhere, but
DeAndre's back next week.
DeAndre's back next week, so that'll bump him to number 2. Mm-hmm. Robbie Anderson could be
he's a solid number 2 receiver.
He could be a number 2 receiver.
Yeah, things in Carolina just really fell apart before our eyes and faster than I expected.
It's like kind of hard to see that Kyler Murray can't produce any offense.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Robbie Anderson. I'm very excited for DeAndre Hopkins to come back. He's been stashed on my fantasy football bench.
And like with all that, like the Panthers, it's like if Robbie Anderson doesn't have a good time, obviously he didn't have a good time in Carolina, and they're having a whole reset with their coach being fired and interim coaches but being put in. So maybe everything's for sale.
I think DJ Moore.
I hope
he gets traded too.
I hope he gets traded. Because I have him on my fantasy
team. He's been the
team.
picture of consistency. 1,000 yards, 6, 7, 8 touchdowns a year.
Yeah,
has not been getting anywhere close to that this year.
I really hope that he gets
maybe the Packers
to the Giants.
To the Giants.
Giants need a wide receiver. I hope they get him.
They do need a wide receiver. I just don't know if they're in a position to make a trade like that.
I saw a good trade for him would be Tony and a 3rd-round pick. Tony has had 0 offense, and he's a young player, and the Panthers are going to rebuild. They can use a young player and a 3rd-round
What
pick.
We've seen when Tony's on the field is very exciting, but it's hard for me to root for a guy. He just hasn't been on the field.
He doesn't
it's
have
so
the attitude
tough
for the field. He doesn't.
You think it's an attitude thing, or is genuine hamstring problems?
It's constant problems. I mean, everyone. I mean, you look at Daniel Jones and Saquon, who are hurt, but they come back. They have that dedication to play.
Yeah.
You have Daniel Jones bleeding on the field, but he has his dedication to play. I don't think Tony has that. He can go down to Carolina and rebuild with them, and we'll take DJ Moore.
A 3rd-rounder for DJ Moore and Kadarius Toney. I mean, I would love that as a Giants fan. I'd love to see DJ Moore in a Giants.
It feels pretty good.
Some other storylines get into.
We got Adam said Baker's just a bad man.
Yeah, Baker's not the answer in Carolina. I don't know if he'll find another starting job. He's going to have to earn it from now on. He's going to have quarterback battles, find a coach that he gels with because they didn't want him in Cleveland, not working out in Carolina. I think PJ Walker got the start this week over him.
Well, I mean, if you see what he puts on the field, I mean, if you see what he puts on the field, it's not professional football. He let him go do his commercials. He's not fit for the NFL.
He was a Heisman winner, 1st overall pick.
What does that mean now? His team's doing terrible and it's his fault.
Excuse me, Philip Walker started.
Who?
Philip Walker. I think he goes by PJ. He goes by PJ.
All
Sorry, that's PJ. My fault.
Yeah,
PJ Walker. He was an XFL guy.
XFL.
Yeah, DJ Moore caught 3 catches for 7 yards.
I know. I have him on my fantasy team. He's had 2 points for like 4 straight weeks.
That's
blowing my mind.
All right. So Carolina, they need to figure their things out. Right, major storyline I had to talk about. Bailey Zappi. Patriots fans are going around. The quote of the day from the Patriots fans was "Zappi makes me happy."
Zappi makes me happy.
I thought that was hilarious. I love that.
Is crazy. It's crazy.
He's the only rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl era to win and have 100+ passer rating in each of his first 2 starts. And it feels like Belichick just has this knack for finding little-known quarterbacks. And he was a 7th-round guy from Houston Baptist, transferred to Western Kentucky. Belichick drafts him in the 7th round. He comes in and he's just throwing dimes.
I'm not going to let you do this.
2-0.
I'm not going to let you tell our 8 fans right now this whole farce of a conversation that Bailey Zappi is the next Tom Brady.
I didn't say next Tom Brady.
You alluded to it.
I didn't say next Tom Brady.
You alluded to it.
In my notes, I have a Jimmy G comparison, not a Tom Brady comparison.
You said that he finds a needle in the haystack.
Okay, Tom Brady came from Michigan, blue blood football program. I was thinking along the lines of Jimmy G. Jimmy G came from Eastern Illinois. Jimmy G
is not a great quarterback.
He's been to a Super Bowl. He has a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots.
That's because his defense was deadly.
He went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers. And then last year, an NFC championship with the 49ers. He wins games. He wins games.
He doesn't.
You got to get off the Jimmy G hate train.
His defense does. He doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't throw for 350 yards, but he gets the job done. And Trey Lance didn't do anything. Trey Lance was not very great. Mediocre at best.
Bailey Zappi's a fluke.
I don't know.
Listen, that's
I don't know.
Very cool stat. 2 starts, 100+ pass rate. He could be the next Tom Brady. He could not. Most definitely, probably not. But he could be Is he better than Mac Jones? I never said
anything about Tom Brady.
Is he better than Mac Jones at this point? Yes.
It's a discussion that needs to be had. He went 24-34, 309 yards and 2 touchdowns and no picks.
I think he could be
throwing the ball all over the field. All over the field.
And he's winning games.
Yep.
Which is Mac Jones wasn't winning games. He is.
Patriots are 3-3. Bailey Zappi. Zappi makes me happy.
Zappi makes me happy.
If you're a Patriots fan,
you know what? I'm on board. Zappi makes me happy.
But for the record, I never said anything about Tom Brady. If you look in the notes, clearly we share this Google Doc. I have Jimmy G because Jimmy G was Eastern Illinois, unheard of. This guy came from Western Michigan, 7th round.
We got a good point actually from George. I'm going to bring up something that George said in the comments. He's talking about Heisman, how it doesn't mean anything, which is true in some aspects. But you also have Derrick Henry, who won.
I think Heisman's exciting. It means you were the best player in college football that year on offense.
He's bringing up a couple people like Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, Sam Bradford, Baker Mayfield. They won things. They won Heisman, and they weren't really great.
Derrick Henry has a Heisman, like you said.
Derrick Henry has a Heisman. Joe Burrow has a Heisman.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be. Some people are built for the NFL. Some people are built to play with the big boys. Some aren't.
Baker was part of that draft class with. Was that Josh Allen? Yes, right? No.
It was the one before that. I think someone.
No, I think it was that draft class
because I might be wrong. We got to get to our fantasy picks.
We'll get to it.
We're running out of time. What do you got?
Hold on, I gotta find it. You start your fantasy pick. Yeah, no, it was. So
the same one as Josh Allen.
So it was an insanely stacked quarterback class. It was Baker was the first quarterback, Sam Darnold was the second quarterback, Josh Allen was the third quarterback, and then you had Josh Rosen, never really panned out.
I love Josh Rosen coming out of UCLA. Oh, I loved him.
No way.
He was a great quarterback coming out of UCLA. It just didn't.
Josh Allen was my favorite. Lamar was in that draft class. He was the last pick of the first round.
Last pick of the first round turned MVP.
So Baker went before all these guys. I remember that pick. I was like, I didn't love it. I loved Josh Allen out of Wyoming. The guy would just throw it all over the field. It was insane. But Baker went from the number 1 overall quarterback. Now he's gonna have to fight the number 1 pick to now he's gonna have to fight for every job he has for the rest of his NFL career.
It's true.
Are we heated in the comments? Are the comments heated?
I got distracted by some Josh.
No, it's
Rosen.
good. Bring the.
No, we got that. Rosen is a great Miami QB. Not because he is a backup at my. Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, the comments got me distracted for a second. Throwing off. I love Josh Rosen coming at it in college, coming out of UCLA. Because I was a huge UCLA fan, but obviously their football program is not great. But I liked him coming out, and when he went to the Cardinals, I thought he was going to do something. And then they drafted Kyler Murray, and then it went downhill. Didn't really pan out.
Kyler Murray has a Heisman.
That is true, but he's also kind of garbage.
Does Tua have a Heisman?
I believe Tua won the Heisman. Right? Tua won.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure Tua won the Heisman.
Yeah, I think it means something. I think it means something.
It means they did good in college. Doesn't mean they're fit to play with the big boys.
Fair enough.
The big boys. All right, let's get into your fantasy picks. Yeah, let's get into some fantasy picks. I want you to picture this, and I want everyone at home to picture this. Close your eyes. You're sitting there on Saturday morning, I think it was, and you're checking your fantasy app, and you look at you think your starting running back Jonathan Taylor is coming back, and then you get the O next to his name.
Oh God!
And then the world falls apart. You're 5-0, right? Your team's 5-0.
George is gonna love this. He was the first pick in my fantasy draft this year.
Who? Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, George was the first draft pick.
I mean,
pick Jonathan Taylor. I know he's heated about it. Let me ask. I got a question for you, Nico.
Yeah.
Is drafting first overall in fantasy a curse? Because
100%.
I can't remember the last time
100%.
someone repeated as the king. Like
I don't think I was number one.
It's been so long since someone had that insane season, and they were like a. Because to be fair, Jonathan Taylor was the clear number one guy this year, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you could take stuff into consideration, like number one picks don't come back to you. Number one picks, they always underperform because you're always expecting more out of them. And even people who finished last year as number one, they always die down.
I think it's a curse to have the number one overall pick. I'm happy.
I took him.
I was later on.
It wasn't great. He had bad starts. He had first game was good. It was like 20-something points. But bad start, hurt, bad start, hurt. And
what's his ankle injury?
It's some lower body injury. I forgot what they were calling it. But see the O on his name. I'd become distraught because I'm 5-0. Nice, first time this is my best record I've ever had in fantasy through these weeks. And I look over and I'm going through the waiver wire. Deion Jackson, backup.
Third string running back
behind
in Indianapolis.
Philip Lindsay.
Behind Nyheim Hines.
Nyheim Hines. Is Philip Lindsay on the Colts?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think he's behind Philip Lindsay.
He might be, maybe.
If I'm not mistaken.
The reports I was reading, though, said he was behind Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines.
So, whatever. Third string, fourth string, whatever you want to call it. Jonathan Taylor's replacement, I put him in the lineup. 42 yards rushing and a touchdown. 72 yards receiving. So not only did that give me more points.
He caught 10 passes.
Caught 10 passes for how many yards? 28.1 yards. That's more than JT has put up.
And you started this guy?
And I started
Good for you.
Dude, I mean, it was a whim. I put him on
Deion
a whim.
Jackson.
And, I'm not going to brag or anything, but your boy's 6-0.
That's awesome. Good for you, dude.
Your boy's going into week 7.
I'm just trying to get back to 500.
I mean, I'm strolling 6-0 right now. Thank you, Deion Jackson.
You start resting players in fantasy? You can start resting players?
I'm going to start resting them. They're going on bye weeks. Deion
dude, that's
Jackson,
awesome for Deion
points.
Jackson.
And someone who else helped me this week? Joe Burrow. We got 28 for 37, 300 yards, 3 throwing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown for 25 yards.
That's awesome.
That leaves me with 40.5 points.
That was the Joe Burrow that we're used to seeing. You had Jamar go off. T. Higgins was in there.
You cried a little bit? It was 3. I was crying. My
tears of joy?
Tears of joy were coming down I'm watching my team. And I'm not playing a scrub in my league. It's a 4-1 team. 4-2 team now. But I'm crying over here.
He said, I'm not bragging. He said, I'm not bragging 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I'm not bragging, but my team is gross.
That's good for you, dude.
No, it's really not. If you looked at my lineup, my wide receiver core, it's like DJ Moore, Isaiah McKenzie.
I got DJ Moore too.
Yeah, DJ Moore, Isaiah McKenzie, and Alan Lazard.
I'm trying to work out a trade for DJ Moore,
but he doesn't know how to be healthy.
I'm trying to work out a trade for DJ Moore currently with some people in my league. But I'm so scared the day after I trade DJ Moore, he's going to get traded to the Packers.
And then go off.
I know. I'm so scared. I got off
30 points.
I'm still not over the trade I turned down to start the year. I got offered a trade for Cordero. Miles Sanders for Cordero. Turned it down. Miles Sanders has been eating. Cordell's on the injured reserve. Who knows what he's going to look like the rest of this season. Oh, man. Fantasy has been...
Joe Burrow did pull up in the Jamar Chase's national championship jersey. Because
that's some swagger.
They played the Saints and they played in the Superdome. And that
was his first time back since he won the national championship.
They won. So
that's some swagger.
I think they both showed up.
That's what we call. That's why he gets the nickname Joe Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty.
That's where he gets that nickname.
Let me finish off my last one. We got this might be a little curveball. He was sitting on my bench, and I kept him on my bench because he hasn't performed. But maybe it's a breakout. Chase Claypool, 7 receptions, 98 yards, and a touchdown. 23 points. This is the first time he's broke.
They upset the Bucs.
This upset the Bucs in a huge win. Tom Brady is a mess. First time he got more than 11 points all season. He has 25 today.
That was with Kenny Pickett starting, right? So maybe
it was with Kenny Pickett, but they also switched to. I think Trubisky threw him the touchdown.
Interesting. Okay, could be something to watch though.
Kenny Pickett is out with a hand injury.
We've been seeing.
Oh my god,
we've been seeing.
This up before we.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I get to your picks.
Yeah.
I also want to say I just remembered I didn't write it down, but Carson Wentz is out for 6 weeks with a fractured finger.
So who's up next in Washington? Is that Sam Howell, the rookie?
No, Taylor Heineke.
He's fun to watch, Heineke.
Yeah, he played great.
He's fun to watch. As much as I hated when he beat us last year, Heineke is fun to watch.
And I believe the Cowboys are playing them.
Interesting.
I'm not wrong.
Wow, I forgot what I was going to say about that. Oh, like we've seen in
the Jets. The Packers. I'm wrong. Sorry.
Packers like we've seen with the Jets. I mentioned this last week. I had Breece Hall as one of my players to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Zach Wilson, another really good week. Breece Hall had another really good week. You gotta, as a fantasy manager, look for the young quarterbacks and who they gel with. Who's their favorite target to go to? Because it's not like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or whoever, so-and-so, you could plug a guy in and they'll mesh. Some rookie quarterbacks, some young quarterbacks like the way certain routes are run, just have better chemistry. Maybe some stuff behind the scenes, those guys putting in extra work with the young guys.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool, great size. I love him as an athlete. Coming out of Notre Dame, phenomenal.
It was like he didn't have any production at the start of the year.
It's a crowded wide receiver room in Pittsburgh. You got Deontay Johnson, who got paid.
Mm-hmm.
They drafted Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They drafted George Pickens. And they did draft Kenny Pickett too. But they drafted George Pickens.
Also,
a lot of touches.
Najee is also a really good receiver.
He demands a lot of touches.
He's a really good receiving
running back definitely.
Also. But, it's good to see him back, and maybe he'll get the start next week. We have to see.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know if Amon-Ra is going to be hurt again.
Good picks. I love the enthusiasm around Deion Jackson. You gave us a whole presentation.
Win. Is he getting dropped tomorrow? 100%.
You gave us a whole presentation.
Yeah.
I love it. So is Taylor back? You're not going to hang on to Deion Jackson?
Maybe if he's not back. If he's hurt, if
he's earned a roster spot.
I got no roster spots. I have my next week, the Bills are on their off week, and I have their defense and their kicker, so I have no.
You don't want to let them go. Yeah.
I have no roster spots.
All right, interesting to see what happens to Deion Jackson. I only got 2 picks for you this week, Nico, and I'm going to move through them pretty quick because I do want to get to the Yankees and squeeze in a little Monday Night Football preview. First pick of the week, a guy we talked about earlier in the show, Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Third string. Oh, sorry. Teddy Bridgewater started this week in Miami.
Did they continue with the third string?
No, I think Teddy Bridgewater was back this week, and he got the start. Not a great game from Teddy, but Tyreek Hill went off. 12 receptions for 177 yards. Even though the Dolphins couldn't get the win, Hill did everything he possibly could. And then, like I said earlier, watching the Chiefs game, he was dearly missed. Juju had 105. Tyreek Hill went for 177. They're both very skilled, but Tyreek Hill is that superstar generational talent.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Love watching him. He's so quick, so shifty, so hard to bottle up. He had a great game.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to, George, what's his problem off the field? He said that Claypool is a problem off the field. I'm not sure. Can you send in the chat what's his problem off the field, and we'll continue to your other pick, Matt Ryan.
And then Matt Ryan. Yes, Matt Ryan. A lot of people didn't see this one coming. He was on my fantasy bench. Matt Ryan had a day, 27. Oh, sorry. Tyreek Hill went off for 29.7 PPR points.
Yep.
Matt Ryan, 42 for 58. They let Matt Ryan throw the ball 58 times. No Jonathan Taylor, former MVP. Matt Ryan throwing the ball 42 times. He threw the ball 58 times, completed 42 passes. That's good for 72% completion.
And they actually beat the Jaguars.
Pause for a moment. 72% completion while throwing the ball 58 times. That is so sharp.
Yeah.
Kudos to Matt Ryan. 3 touchdowns. Lit up the Jaguars.
Yeah, he was really. He played really good. It was kind of a slow start for them, and they were losing to the Jaguars towards the end, but they did have a comeback.
Got it done. They won by a score.
Absolutely. Pittman with 13 receptions is huge for them, and if they start getting that rolling, their throwing game, they can drop back.
Opens up for Jonathan Taylor.
Opens up for JT, who did I think in week 4 of last year he had bad weeks, and then week 5 he kind of broke out.
I will say though, looking forward for the Colts, I think this scheme that they have where they get a veteran quarterback every year, 1-year contract. We saw it with Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, now Matt Ryan. I don't think it's sustainable.
I think they're going to keep – I think they they're moving in this direction where it's not really uphill. It's kind of just
stagnant. Yeah.
And it's really boring to me. That's why the Colts never like jump off a page to anyone. They have a great offensive line, or they did. And then they have a good defense and a good running game, but they're never there. They don't have Pittman, they had T.Y. Hilton.
Or at least you got to draft a guy.
No, wow.
And then sit him behind Matt Ryan for a year. And people forget that's what the Chiefs did with Mahomes. Yeah. Mahomes' rookie year, he didn't play a single game. He sat behind Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan has an MVP. Why didn't you not draft a guy who maybe he's got some potential there? He's not ready to start.
I don't even know their backups.
Let's sit him back. Couldn't tell you. I don't know.
I don't know their backups.
It's not sustainable.
Their quarterback room is.
Colts need to draft a quarterback for the future, or sign one, or do something.
Matt Ryan, we all know, is done.
I don't think he has another playoff run in him.
I don't think he has another season in him.
I was impressed by this game, but it's been his first game all year where he's put up over 20 fantasy points.
Let's run through this really quickly because we have some.
Yeah, Monday Night Football. I'm not going to get into too much.
Yeah, let's just run through it. We'll do some stats and then we'll get through it.
Go for it.
So we got Broncos, who are 2-3, against Chargers, who are 3-2.
It's in LA.
In LA, Russell Wilson again struggling. 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The running back room for them is struggling as well because they have Javonte Williams is out for the season. They have a combination between Melvin Gordon, who is more of a rushing focus, and Mike Boone, who is more receiving.
Yeah.
The only there's 2 rushing touchdowns on the Broncos. One is by Russell Wilson. One is by Melvin Gordon. And that's it. Only 2 rushing touchdowns this season. And it's hard when they're going against a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who has 10 touchdowns for 2 interceptions.
Eckler looked phenomenal last week.
Eckler, 60. He has 313 yards, 3 touchdowns. Herbert's almost past 1,500 yards throwing.
Wow.
The Chargers offense and the Chargers defense is significantly better.
On paper, yeah.
Significantly.
I think the Broncos are due for one, though.
I can't disagree with you more. I can't. We have to stop giving the Broncos. Whoever
we'll see
thought
next week when we come in, or we'll see.
All right, we'll see. But
I think they're due for one.
Whatever NFL executive threw the Broncos into so many primetime games needs to be fired immediately.
It's ridiculous. But I think
Thursday nights, Monday nights, Sunday nights, they got to stop. The team's terrible. Nathaniel Hackett is one of the worst coaches of NFL history.
AFC. You know what I think it was? We had Max drop a good comment a couple weeks ago about the AFC West hype. It was real before this season. The AFC West was so hyped up.
Max just said something, speaking of him.
And they scheduled all these AFC West games for primetime, and the Broncos have definitely not lived up to the hype.
Absolutely.
But I think they're due for one. I think they're due for one.
All right.
I don't know.
What's your prediction?
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be really crazy. 35.
Jesus.
I think they're going to go crazy.
Oh,
Sutton and Judy are going to go nuts. Russell Wilson's going to throw for 400 yards.
30,
I swear to you.
35 what?
So they're going to snap. The Broncos win 35-32.
35-32. I have a completely different
no,
game.
Dude, I'm telling
My
you.
prediction.
They're going to snap. They're due for it. They're going to snap.
No.
We've seen Russell Wilson do it too many times. They're going to snap.
My prediction is Broncos 6, Chargers 20,000.
20.
No, realistically, Broncos 6. Broncos 6. Broncos 6.
You did not just say 20,000, bro.
Broncos 6, Chargers 30. To the point that Herbert gets taken out of the game because they don't need him anymore. Oh, they'll put in the backup.
Right, so we're on polar opposites for this one.
Yeah, I think you're completely wrong.
All right, if I'm right though, Nico, I'm gonna talk so much smack next week. We're gonna clip this.
Pete Carroll won the breakup. Gino never wrote back.
I love that. That got me so hyped. Gino Smith
the Broncos defense is all right, but I just think the Chargers offense is way better than them.
Yeah, on paper. But I'm telling you, man, sports is different, man. Look at Tennessee, man. They hadn't beat Alabama in 15 years. The Broncos are due for one. The Broncos are not going to throw up another stinker. They're going to win this game. They're going to score 35 points.
Bills or Eagles? Are you talking about like number 1 in the league? I think
still the Eagles.
I think right now we have to respect the record and say the Eagles. All right, calm down over there, Cam. I think we have to respect the record and go with the Eagles. but we have to see how like the season goes on and see how like the Eagles match up against like some really good teams.
Well, in the Eagles' defense, I will say Cooper Rush has been very disciplined. When they played the Giants, he stuck to his game plan, didn't make any bad mistakes, just very disciplined. Yes. The Eagles' defense made him look like a backup quarterback.
Was it three interceptions?
3 interceptions.
Jesus. Eagles played great game.
Shout out George for starting him in fantasy football this week. I know we're in a super deep league. It's 16 teams, but I got to play against Cooper Rush in fantasy this week, and I need 5 points from Mike Boone. Mike Boone, 5 points, man.
True, George.
If you're out there, Mike Boone, 5 points, 50 yards rushing, man. That's all I need, and I get this win.
We got a lot of comments going for Yankees right now.
So okay, we got to get to the Yankees.
I think we switch over. We got some time. We got a lot written about them. And
if there's even a game tonight,
if there's a game, I'm kind of hoping and praying there's a game tonight.
It's supposed to rain in the Bronx tonight.
Supposed to rain, but the MLB has said that they're trying their best to keep the game on. So if anything, it gets postponed maybe an hour or so. But I think they want to keep this game on. It's not necessarily a great outlook for the Yankees if it does get delayed, because I'm pretty sure
Shane Bieber gets back.
I'm pretty sure the Indians move to Bieber and we move to Cole. We move to Cortez, which I don't know how I like.
You know what? You're right. I like the way it's set up for tonight. I think Tyone is a better pitcher than Savelli.
Yeah.
Tyone had some really strong starts this year. He compiled a 14-5 record. What more do you want from your number 4 pitcher? The guy's been solid.
And we get into, everything that's going on. It's his first postseason debut. It's his first ever postseason start. And I think that, I kind of like his chances more than how do you pronounce his name?
I think it's Savelli.
So Savelli, I think he has a 4.95 ERA, which isn't great, and he's like 4. Let me look.
We need the superstar bats to step up tonight,
he has a 4.92 ERA, and he's 5-6 on the season. He hasn't pitched in a couple weeks, maybe a month or so. But I think that I think I like this better than what could happen against Bieber.
The Indians, though, could only put him out there for, say, get us 3 innings. And then just go. Their bullpen is without a doubt stronger than ours.
Their bullpen is far superior than ours and far superior than our hitting staff.
We need at least 5, I think, from Tyone tonight. At least 5.
I mean, that if he comes out 6 and gives up 2 runs, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too, but it's just scary. Like, if we don't get on the starting pitcher early, the Yankees get on Savelli early, they could just go to the bullpen, change it up every inning. It's going to be tough. But I will say, Nico, we went last week when we talked about the Yankees, we said, how does Cleveland score? They don't hit home runs. They manufacture runs. They've done it every game this series.
And so
that's literally the game plan. That's what they do.
Let's do the Guardians and let's get hype about the Yankees.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So I want to talk about, there's a couple things I've been watching because, take us back a week. We both predicted over in 5.
I said 4.
Over in 4. Sorry. Yankees in 4. We both kind of said that.
So we were wrong about that.
And definitely wrong about that. But, we couldn't predict. Yankees kind of, handily won game 1. And then game 2 and 3 were really scary. Both comeback wins.
The 9th inning collapse was.
9th inning collapse, the walk-off. And then thank God Cole, put it together. And
he was our ace. He's been the MVP of this series. 2-0.
He's great.
2 ERA. He's been our ace.
So we got Steven Kwan is a hitting machine.
The guy's so good.
He's a hitting machine. He's got a 7.41 OPS this series, but that doesn't really show what he's doing. He's always putting bat to ball, and he's getting these runs. He's getting on base, and it's
crazy stat for you, Steven Kwan. They put it up on the screen last night. I think during this series, he's only swung and missed at 4 pitches.
Yeah, I mean, he really
sees the ball so well, gets contact on it. He had a home run to start in game 1 of the series in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Game 1. Yeah, Steven Kwan is the real deal.
This is going to take a little bit of time, but I want to talk about it. Josh Naylor, his home run where he's rocking the baby. I can't stand him. He had a 1.11 batting average against Cole all season, and he has a 2.22 batting average against everyone else. You're not good. Rock the baby and go home.
I like Cole's had a good response to it. He said, "Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It's funny.
It's cute.
Cute." He's staring at him the entire way, rocking the baby. You hit a bloop home run. It wasn't even a deep shot.
Whatever. Let him rock the baby.
Let him rock the baby.
I love that the game 5 is coming back to the Bronx. I love that game 5 is coming back to the Bronx. It really, I'm nervous though. I'm nervous.
Bronx, the jungle has to be wild tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It has to come up.
We need our superstars.
We're going against their insane bullpen, And, obviously they're insane hitters who chip away. Jose Ramirez, they chip away.
They get on base. They manufacture runs. They steal. Good base running.
Great base running.
That's exactly how they won that other game. Game 3 in the 9th inning. It was no home runs, no doubles, nothing crazy. It was little base hits. Beat the shift. Little base hit.
And we could talk about that 9, the bottom 9, where there was problems on management.
Oh, definitely. People were calling for Aaron Boone.
Because we have Clay Holmes in the lineup, who may or may not have been doing good. But
what upset me was that
our closer.
Boone said one thing, Clay Holmes said another thing. Boone said he was hurt, a little beat up, only to be used for emergencies only. It's 9th inning of a playoff game.
Yeah.
And then Clay Holmes said after the game, "Oh, I was fine. I don't know what happened."
I think they're thinking about it too much. Boone is thinking about it too much. We have our closer who's been all right. He's had some struggles recently, but he was our closer, and it was lights out.
He was an all-star.
And you're gonna put in Clark Schmidt to close out this game in a playoff series? This isn't the time to take to plan out when you're gonna play people. This is do or die.
Yeah.
And tonight we're gonna see it. Are they gonna manage good? Is he gonna manage good? Are they gonna put in the right players? Something I like a lot is that they're putting Cabrera back into shortstop. IKF is sitting again. He's had too many errors. He's had too many mistakes. Cabrera is the right choice. Hicks in left field is bearable.
Bader has been absolutely awesome too. Oh my goodness.
I mean, you see it here. I mean, 3 home runs in the series. That's the first time
he loves playing in New York, and that's so awesome.
And, I don't want to blow up anyone's spot or anything, but there's a possibility I know him, or a possibility I have a connection to him.
He's from Westchester. He's from Bronx.
He's from Westchester. Right around the block. I know someone who knows his parents.
He's from right around the block. He went to high school in the Bronx. I think he's so happy to be back here. I was reading a little bit about it today. He was in Cleveland. He was in, St. Louis for the first 5.5 years of his career. Made some connections down there. So he was upset when he first got traded. It wasn't immediate excitement. Like, he was working on bringing a PGA event because he loves golf too. He was bringing a PGA event. Doing a lot. So immediate reaction was tough because he was injured. So he wasn't going to play right away. Yankees fans were upset. He was a little upset. But now that it comes to October and the games matter so much more, he's locked in. He's happy to be here. Yankees fans are happy to have him. I'm so happy to have the hometown kid. He's bringing so much energy.
I mean,
terrific
chills
hitting.
coming to my. I love.
He looks like a Yankee. You see him talking in the dugout, picking up his teammates,
and he's hitting and showing his hitting power. He's a fantastic fielder. I mean, we see here. It's the first Yankee with 3 home runs in a postseason. First Yankee center fielder 3 home runs in a postseason.
That's awesome. Good for him. The hometown kid. That's really exciting.
I love what he's putting out on the field. I mean, I said Cabrera back at shortstop.
I need to see a Judge home run tonight. I need it. I need a 3-run shot.
We got Judge 2 hits on 16 at bats and 9 strikeouts. He's had that 1 home run, but.
A point that I heard too, Nico. I can't take credit for this one. I wish I could. It was a great. I think someone on TV said it. He said that he felt like, for our viewers out there who don't know, the Guardians are the youngest team in professional baseball on average.
I think average is 26.5 or something.
He said that the Guardians are playing like they don't even know how big these moments are. Like it's just another game.
Yeah.
And the Yankees, on the other hand, who have been choking in recent years in playoff, not choking, but losing.
Choking is the right answer. Choking is the right answer.
So the Yankees, on the other hand, have been playing like they feel the pressure, and the Guardians are like, whatever happens, happens. We weren't supposed to be here, but now we're here. So why not give it our all? Why not? Why not us?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really great point. As a Yankee fan, I hate that he said it, but that's what it's been looking like.
Nico. I keep saying it. I keep seeing it. We're 100%. We have our backs against the wall.
Yeah.
If we lose, that's huge. That's an organizational
Boone
meltdown.
I don't know what happens to Boone if we lose this series.
I don't know what happens.
I'm going to be
Cashman.
positive. I'm going to be positive. You know why? One thing that I really do like about this game, if it had been the other way around, if the Guardians were facing elimination last night and they had won, I wouldn't be so confident. But the Yankees backs up against the wall last night, come out with the win, then you get to go back to the Bronx. The Guardians probably thought they had this series wrapped up, making plans to travel to Houston. Yankees said not so fast. If it had been the other way around, if we had the opportunity to eliminate them and we couldn't get it done, I think that hurts worse. Now everything's evened up. It comes down to one game. You forget these last 4 games.
100%.
It comes down
100%.
to one last game. I like Tyone on the mound. He got beaten up. He came in a little bit in the series, I think, in a late game, and he got smacked around. But let him start the game. He wasn't a bullpen guy at all this year. Let him start the game. Let him settle in.
And
give us 5 innings.
With this
give
win,
us 5 innings.
If we win, if we lose, it's a colossal breakdown. But if we win, you move on.
At least
you
our season
possibly
went
get
longer than the Mets.
Benintendi back. You possibly get Marinaccio back. You grow, but you're also playing the Astros. But I don't want them to think about anything tonight.
One game matters.
Just
That's
think
it.
about tonight. Let's win this game. The crowd is going to go nuts. It's going to rain, and no one's going to care.
I hope it happens. I really hope it happens.
I have faith. I really do think it's going to happen.
I need to see the superstars. I need to see Judge do something, Stanton do something. Donaldson's getting paid so much money. Deliver tonight in the clutch, please.
The lineup came out already for tonight's game. It's the same as last night. Torres, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Cabrera, Bader, Trevino, Hicks, and starting Tyone. I really hope that this team can pull it through.
I think they will.
I hope the 3 things I want to see today. I want to see a strong outing from Tyone. He has to do it. I want to see good management moves.
Yeah.
And I want to see Matt Carpenter hit.
At least one at bat.
He didn't come in the last 2 games.
Okay.
I'd
love to see Matt Carpenter.
He didn't come in last game. He didn't come in. He didn't come in the last 2 games. I need Matt Carpenter at the base. I need it.
Yeah.
You need him at home.
I'm calling on Judge tonight, man. He's been slacking this series. I know he gave us 62 home runs, but this is when it really counts.
What does this do? What does this first round exit do for his future? That's what's worrying me.
Okay.
If this first round exit, what do you think happens? How do you think that contract goes?
I don't know how much it affects it because you look at the Dodgers who won 111 games. They're done.
Collapsed.
Done.
Yeah.
So you never know what's going to happen. You never know.
And whoever, I don't want to make wild predictions. Whoever wins the AL wins the World Series.
Think so?
The Padres.
There's 2 wild card teams left in the NL.
The Padres and the Phillies are.
There was another point made. There's 2 wild card teams left in the National League and 3 division winners left in the American League. So,
yeah.
If
whoever anyone out of the AL gets home field,
I'm going to be positive though, Nico. Like I said, it was so big that we were facing elimination last night. We said not so fast. Got to come back to the Bronx and play us.
I think it's huge that
If it had been the other way around, I'd be way more nervous. I'd be way more nervous. I would have been biting my nails saying class.
Obviously, they're the underdogs. I don't want to see an underdog story tonight. I don't want to see it. I want to beat them down.
Overpower them. Judge, Stanton, superstars.
I want home runs. I want beatdowns. I want offense, powerhouse, defense, lockdown.
Yes.
I need everything to happen.
I love it.
We need to beat them down.
I love it. Any last minute comments you want to share? I see the screen blowing up over there.
And George says big NBA starts big day tomorrow. We got George saying let's go Yanks. Talk about the Dodgers collapse. We talked about that.
Shout out to all our listeners. We appreciate you guys. It always makes our show so much more fun.
He says the Phillies are winning it all. That's not happening.
The Phillies? Who said that?
If we lose,
who said Phillies?
Jason.
Oh goodness, Jason.
I just don't see it.
Jason can't be happy. I said the Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now, Jason. Okay, relax with the baseball talk.
Get your one Philly team.
I gave you your one Philly credit for the day. All right, man. Please.
And listen.
Please.
Let's all go home. Let's all go relax.
Yeah.
Let's go watch these Yankees. Let's go
watch the Yankees. I will be watching the Yankees. Not too much Monday Night Football. I'll be checking in on my guy Mike Boone. I need 5 points, Mike Boone. If you're out there,
I have him in my league too.
You starting him?
Yeah.
He's my flex.
Yeah, he's my
Mike Boone. I need 5. I need 5.
He's my RB1.
Let's get 5. I need 5. All right. Thank you everyone for listening this week. Nico, another awesome
Yankees.
Show.
Shout out to hockey.
Hopefully this time next week we are still talking Yankees.
Hopefully we're still talking
Yankees.
And we'll throw in a little bit of hockey. Let's go Islanders, Rangers.
All right, awesome.
Let's go Yankees.
2-point conversion out.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.